Hello and welcome to the War 40k Imperial Guard Tactics video. Now before we get into today's video, I would like to say a big thank you to Clark Walter for sending in some awesome pictures of his 13th Mechanized Steel Legion Sapper army. Absolutely fantastic. Love all of the conversions and the different bits that have been used. The legendary Air Ace, the Red Duke, absolutely fantastic. Anvil Industry bits, I love that Anvil Industry RPG. Looks really cool. Thank you for sending these pictures in, Clark. If anyone else has got any cool pictures that they want me to use in my videos, then please post them on my Facebook page or do what Clark did and email them to me at mordianglorytv@gmail.com. And don't worry if you can't remember that, because it will be down in the description below. Also, just want to highlight, if you want to support the channel, I do have a Patreon page. There will be a link down in the description below as well. I don't monetize any of my videos. I try to have as few adverts as possible. I mean, I say no adverts, but I still think YouTube puts a few on. But basically, don't worry about using ad blocker whilst watching my videos. I don't make any money from monetization. It's all just through donations via the Patreon page. So if you want to support the channel, please go and check out the Patreon. I don't mention it too often because I don't like to make a big deal out of it, but just want to say massive thank you to the Patreons. I don't just say it and it just sort of trips off the tongue. When I say it, I mean like genuinely, thank you for supporting the channel. This channel truly wouldn't be anywhere near the size it is today, and it wouldn't have the ability to grow as it continues to do so without the support of the patrons. New cameras, ability to go to events, be able to pick up new models, to try out different bits and bobs. It's all down to the support of the Patreon supporters. So thank you very much. I'll stop embarrassing you all now. I'll stop being so gushy about it. Without further ado, let's get into today's video. So today, guys, in keeping with the Steel Legion theme, I want to impart a nugget of wisdom, a quick tip tactica onto my fellow mechanized commanders, but also onto those of you who are thinking about getting into Guard and you like your tanks and you want to go fully mechanized. Totally get it. It's a really fun and cinematic way to play your Guard, and often it's very effective as well. 9th edition's been a bit funny with Mech Guard, but things are slowly starting to turn, and I can say that it is a pretty legit option now. So if you are thinking about it, here is a little bit of sage wisdom and sage advice for you. It's going to be a quick tip tactica. Hopefully it'll only be 5 to 10 minutes long. Essentially, it's vitally important. It's the most important thing you can learn to do as a mech commander. You have to judge the exact right time to get your men out of your chimeras. Okay. One of the biggest, when I was first learning Armageddon Steel Legion and Mechanized Guard, and one of the mistakes that would always lose me the game, it was black and white. If I made this mistake, I lost the game. If I didn't make the mistake, I won the game. Was getting my infantry out of my chimeras too early. It was as simple as that. Any time that I put the ramps down and got the blokes out, turn 2 or turn 1, I lost. Because the simple matter of the fact is, guys, if you're running a mechanized army, then more than likely the most infantry you're going to have is about 60. Typically. You might have 70, but you're not going to have 100, 120, 200 like you would if you were running an infantry guard force or a hybrid force. You're going to have, I'd argue, between 40 and 60 infantry in a typical mechanized guard army. If you get your guys out too early, the simple matter of the fact is, guys, that the enemy will have enough firepower to just blow them away. And when they do that, you vastly reduce the ability for you to hold objectives. If you expose your objectives secured to the enemy, they will take it away from you. It's as simple as that. Now, obviously, you don't want to necessarily leave your guys in the tanks all game, because then potentially they're not doing anything. But there is this I have to say, it's a finely judged thing. And it can depend on game to game. But if you're not sure, if you're just starting out, my recommendation would be, guys, is no matter how tempting it might be, I highly recommend when you're using Guard and using Mech Guard, don't get your blokes out. If you want them to be holding objectives, don't get them out till turn 3. Okay, assume that every squad that you get out is going to die in the enemy's counter-attack. That's one way of looking at it. Now, second thing is you might be like, but what if I want to take objectives? That's fine. If you're getting blokes out to take objectives away from the enemy and to swing the primary points game, absolutely fine. Sometimes you've got to throw a squad of guys away. Sometimes you've got to do it. You haven't got a choice, right? But that would be the only time that's the golden rule, basically, guys. Get your blokes out of your chimeras. Get your objectives secured out of the chimeras to take objectives. Don't do it to do damage. No matter how tempting it might be to drop those 10 gas mask boys, if you're a Steel Legion, out and first rank fire, second rank fire the enemy, and get those 36 lasgun bolts and maybe a couple of bolter rounds as well. Really take advantage of that 18-inch rapid fire. No matter how tempting it might seem, the reality is, guys, is that those 36 shots and those 30 to 40 rapid fire shots, whatever configuration they might take, they're unlikely to actually do a huge amount of damage. I mean, if we look at Marines, for example, or Plague Marines, it doesn't really matter, anything, that you're gonna hit on 4s. So let's say it's 36 shots, you're gonna hit on 4s, you're gonna hit with 18. You're only gonna wound with a third of those. So even if it's Plague Marines or toughness 5, you're only gonna wound a third of them. You're only gonna wound with 6. Now they have a 3-up save, but they could be in cover. But let's say they have a 3-up save, which means they're likely to fail 2 wounds. So you might kill a Plague Marine or an Intercessor. That's out in the open. You might do that. But then you will lose potentially 10, 20, 25% of your objective secured. Assume that if you get them out, they're going to kill them. So it's a really finely balanced thing. So I would always say, guys, if you're starting out and there's that temptation to drop the ramps and get everyone out, don't do it. Wait till turn 3. Wait till the enemy is weakened. Your infantry are not there to do damage. They're there to hold objectives, to hide behind the armour and take the primary points. Okay? Your Lehman Russes, your Chimeras with your double heavy bolts and that sweet damage too. Yeah, you might be facing Death Guard, but you're probably not. Every army out there's Death Guard. There's plenty of good old regular Marines and even there's plenty of non-9th edition Codex armies out there. And let your twin heavy bolter chimeras, let your twin heavy flamer chimeras, let your demolisher cannon tank commanders, let them do the heavy lifting. Let your infantry sit inside the metal box and get out when they need to. Now there will be other times when you need to get a squad out here and there. So this is just, as I always say, you've got to be able to adapt. You've got to be able to read the room, see the situation, and make the call. Maybe there's some unit that's, some sort of thing that's coming towards your tank commander. You need to get a squad out so you can screen him, so then he'll get to shoot next turn. Fine, that's different. Okay, that's a different situation. So sacrificing a squad here and there to take an objective off the enemy or to screen a unit, that's fine. But you do not. As cool as it is, guys, and it is cool, and sometimes it can work, sometimes you have to just go balls to the wall and just do it, but often it backfires. But sometimes you do need to drop the ramps and get all 60 blokes out and just give them the beans. Sometimes you need to do that, I get it. But it's a finely judged thing. And making that mistake, getting that judgment wrong, will more than likely cost you the game as a mechanized player. Now, some of you will be going, Mordian, this sounds like an extremely negative video. What do I do? I can't play Mech. Just throw your models out the window. Don't do that. There's only one way you're going to learn. There's only one way when you're going to get that instinct, that just gut feeling. Now is the time to drop the ramps. There's only one way you're going to do that, and that's by playing games. And you will lose many games at first because you're going to drop the ramps too early. The people are going to be getting out too early. You're going to die. You occasionally, even when you know it's not the right thing to do, you'll just do it anyway because you get swept away at the moment. But the only way to learn that gut instinct is to play games. So don't be afraid of playing games and don't be afraid of making mistakes. Don't be hesitant either. When you get the feeling, when you get the gut feeling, now is the time. To go all in, that's fine. Don't then doubt yourself. Okay? Anyway, keep this a quick tip tactica. When do you guys, who are my fellow mechanized commanders out there, Do you agree with me? Have you sometimes, blown your load a bit early, dropped the ramps turn 1, dropped the ramps turn 2, and then paid the price for it? Do you agree with my assessment? Do you disagree? Are you there going, Morning Glory, in 9th edition, you just got to go all in from turn 1 and burn bright and burn hard and maybe make it out the other outside, maybe not? Let me know down in the comment section below. Those of you who have had this battlefield situation, give us some examples. I dropped them too early on turn 2 versus a Raven Wing army. I got crushed, or I waited too long. I waited till turn 4 against those Harlequins, and I paid the price for it. Give us some examples, some case studies. When has it worked for you? When has it hasn't? Against certain factions, what have you found works? What have you found doesn't work as a mech commander? Let me know. Let your fellow guard commanders know. The greatest strength of this channel is not me. I'm just a bloke behind a mic that talks a lot of shit, which often turns out to be wrong or wildly skewed to his own local meta. Okay, I'm just that guy. The greatest strength of this channel is the absolutely amazing diehard community around it that are constantly sharing thoughts, tactics. I always say at most 50% of the good stuff on this channel is in the videos. The other 50% is down in the comment section, down with you guys, where people are swapping ideas. I don't think I ever, just going off a tangent for a second, I don't think I post a video these days where someone doesn't ask a question and before I even get a chance to answer it, 2 or 3 fellow guard commanders have jumped in and given really sound, solid advice. There's so much good advice. Or someone who's just had an idea and a couple of people have picked up on it. Or someone who's said something that I haven't even considered and I pick up it or use it in a game and it turns out to be right. So many good examples of that. So I'll finish the video here, guys, but I hope you've enjoyed it. Please, love all the comments. I don't always get a chance to get back to all of them, but I do read every single one of them. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and of course, I'll see you guys next time.